Then, in May of 1925, John Barrymore meets the great love of his life, a young actress named Dolores Costello. Her youthful innocence and beauty captivate him completely. In his next film, The Sea Beast, Barrymore demands that Dolores be his leading lady. Her sternly protective mother has forbidden Dolores ever to be alone with him. But Barrymore outwits her by seeing to it that the script includes lengthy love scenes. Before the cameras, Barrymore courts and wins Dolores in the extravagant Barrymore manner. At the age of 46, Barrymore marries Dolores Costello. A kiss from her made him forget all the woes that had once been his, a friend writes. Her love seems a promise of happiness unending. John Barrymore becomes a popular movie idol. Millions adore him as a dashing, romantic leading man. The perfect Don Juan. In the early 1930s, Barrymore breaks away from romantic leads. He now chills audiences, playing grotesque villains, like the fiendish Svengali.
Dream of nothing but Svengali, Svengali, Svengali.
In pictures like The Mad Genius, he is at his best, evoking the nightmarish fears of childhood, fears which have never stopped tormenting him.
Strange, you know, the dream I always had, ever since I was a little boy. A great shining figure, white and beautiful, would come to me with wings, great shimmering wings, and put them on my back and beckon me. And when I start to fly, oh, so happy, my heart would almost break. A great claw would grasp my foot and pull me down into the swamp, black, bubbling. And I'd scream and wake. It was a very pretty little dream.
Drinking heavily now, Barrymore spends long hours brooding over imaginary evidence of Dolores' infidelity. Only rarely can Barrymore pull himself together long enough to deliver a performance with his old style and gusto. In 20th Century, a madcap comedy co-starring Carole Lombard, his genius flares brilliantly.
So that's what it is. Money! By jingles, $10,000 or $15,000 in front of your nose, your mouth will begin to water. You'd start drooling and squealing. Gimme, 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 gimme.
That's right, Oscar. Now get up before I have the porter throw you off the train.
You'll see who's going to be thrown off this train, traveling with a gigolo.
Get out, you fake! You swindling!
Stop that! You cheap little shop girl!
Get out before I call the conductor!
Call the conductor! I'll tell the world who's a fake. You are! I taught you everything you know, even your name. Well, Garland, I gave you that. After a justice in heaven, Mildred Plotter, you will end up where you belong, in the burlesque house. You coward.
Oh, the coward! You
Run! Where's that scoundrel Webb?
In 1935, Barrymore's marriage reaches the crisis he himself has created. Dolores Costello sues him for divorce. A year later, a new figure enters Barrymore's life, 19-year-old Elaine Barry. Some columnists picture her as an heroic young woman trying to save Barrymore from himself. Others imply that she is using Barrymore only to get publicity, to further her own career as an actress. Elaine does want to be a star, and She eventually appears in this film. Elaine Barry denies any romantic link with Barrymore. With regard to personal relationships between Barrymore and myself, she says in a public statement, they have been and are of a strictly platonic nature, based on a professional artistic relationship. A year later, however, Barrymore and Elaine are married, and their hasty impromptu honeymoon makes headlines.
That trip to Yuma was the quickest I've ever made.
I'll say so. When you found you'd forgotten your money and I had to pay for the marriage license, I guess it set some kind of a record.
You had to borrow the wedding ring.
I'm not worrying. I'll collect the license money, I hope.
I can assure you, Madame Barrymore, you shall be reimbursed. Madame Barrymore.
You know, I'll have to get used to that name. I've only had it a few hours.
You'll have it for a lifetime. I hope.
In less than a month, Barrymore and his wife will begin raucous and highly publicized quarrels. Barrymore has become a celebrity of a strange and pitiful kind. In Hollywood, the great profile is hastily preserved in concrete, a memorial only to past triumphs. My God, Barrymore says, they're burying me alive.
For a young girl, you've certainly been in pictures a long time, haven't you, my child?
Oh, yes, Mr. Barrymore.
Barrymore has become a featured performer on Rudy Valley's radio show. Here, he appears with Jane Withers. The only role he is capable of playing is a crude satirization of himself. Barrymore is too shaky to stand before a microphone.
Uncle John, I need advice. Some advice on love.
Love? Sit down, my child. This is going to take some time.
Uncle John, I'm in love. Can you tell me what to do?
No, darling. But I can tell you what not to do.
Oh, but you don't understand.
Certainly I understand. I was young once.
In 1939, Barrymore returns to the theater to play his first stage role since his immortal Hamlet 20 years before. Some hope that here, where he began his career, he will find some way to rebuild it. But a backstage interview filmed the night before his Broadway opening shows a saddened world just how far he has fallen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the boys, if I'm not going too far, from the newsreel and the press, evidently want me to say something about my private life. Not realizing that the whole show might be pulled instantly. However, there is one element in it which is enchanting. This reconciliation, if you can call it that, with the loveliest person I have ever met in my life, Miss Elaine Barry. We are back together again, and it's a very wonderful experience. The gentlemen from the newsreel have informed me that they wish to see the Barrymore profile. That is as much of it as is left. Here goes.
When Barrymore's play opens, a reviewer writes, "He is not quite so bad that we cannot see traces of another actor. I prefer to close my eyes and imagine John Barrymore a superb and immortal man who can never be weakened by mortal disease or despair."